Okay, and you're live.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Helen from Foodies 100. I also blog at Fuss Free Flavors, and some of our Foodies 100 bloggers have been testing out the Morphy Richards Soup Maker, and we're going to share some ideas, our opinions, and tricks and tips for making great soup in the gadget. So we'll all introduce ourselves and run through that. So first of all, we have Leslie, who blogs at Scottish Mum.
Hi, I'm new to Hangout. I've probably made about 6 or 7 lots of soup with my soup maker now, and we're actually quite enjoying it. But I blog at the Scottish Mum blog, and apart from that, there's not really much more to say.
Great. Okay. Hi, Leslie. And also we have Nova at Cherished by Me, who tested out a soup maker.
Hi, I blog at Cherished by Me, as you just said, and I've been enjoying trying out lots of different soups and testing them out on the children. We've all been pretty impressed so far, and look forward to carrying on using it all through the winter, especially.
Brilliant. We have Pippa with Mother's Ramblings.
Hiya, I'm Pippa from A Mother's Ramblings, and I actually have Big Boy here as well because he's quite like the soup maker, which is currently being making some tomato soup for tomorrow.
Brilliant. What's your favourite soup, Big Boy?
He quite liked the... What? Oh, we made a sausage soup. He quite liked that.
Yum, 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 yum. More on that, I think, in a moment. And we have Emily, who blogs at A Mummy Too.
Yeah, hi, I'm Emily. I'm a food and parenting blogger, and yeah, I've been trying out the soup and also the smoothie function.
Fantastic. And Dan from Soup Tuesday, who I presume from the name of his blog is a super soup expert.
Absolutely, yes. Am I coming through?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I'm Dan from Soup Tuesday, and I've been trying out the soup maker as well, and I'm really liking it. Made about 4 soups so far with it.
Great. And Catriona from Wholesome Ireland, can you say hi and introduce yourself?
Hi everybody, I'm Katrina from Wholesome Ireland. I'm a food and parenting blogger, and my speciality category is frugal food and cooking frugally. So this soup maker has been fantastic. We've made quite a number of soups with it. So I really look forward to talking to everybody about it.
Okay, and well, let's start from the beginning. So starting off with the soup maker, how was it? I don't know who wants to say something. Leslie, as you were on my list at the top of my list.
When it first arrived, I took one look at the size of it and where the line that showed you the maximum limit was at 1600 mils. And my first thought was, I've got 6 people to feed. How am I going to get enough soup out of this soup maker for all of them? And I'm sorry, there's my phone. But it was quite surprising, I think, that when the soup was made, instead of being on the hob, where a lot of the water boils off and bubbles away, the line didn't go down any, so you still had the full amount of soup to the 1600 mils. Excuse me, like going to turn that off.
No, Emily, why don't you come and say your views on the soup maker then, and we'll go back to Leslie.
Yeah, I really like gadgets, so I would have said yes to any kind of foodie gadget and got quite excited. But I saw quite a lot of chat when I was saying that I was going to try it out, saying kind of, can't you just make soup in a saucepan? So I was really keen that it would do something different, and the fact that it doesn't lose any liquid is really good. And also, the thing that we noticed is because it kind of whizzes at intervals during the cooking process, rather than boiling your vegetables and then whizzing them, which would take longer, it seems to cut down the cooking time. So you genuinely can go from the very beginning to soup that's ready in 20 minutes, which I think does make it stand out.
Perfect in the freezing cold weather as well. And Nova, how did you get on with it straight from the box?
The same with Leslie. I was at first a bit worried because I've got 5 children, whether it would actually feed us all. so I was really pleased that it does, and there's usually some left over as well, which ends up in the freezer. And the quickness. So I'm amazed at how quick, once you've chopped the vegetables, you can have soup ready. So that's been a huge bonus for me.
Brilliant. Dan, your views, being our soup expert?
I really liked it. I have a food mixer that comes apart into about 1,000 pieces, so every time I make soup, it takes me hours to clean it, and the fact that this is just 2 parts, and you can just take it apart, clean it, and put it back together again is an enormous time saver for me. So I really liked it. I was a bit sceptical at first about, how well it would work, and I'm absolutely blown away by it, to be honest.
Great. No, that's really brilliant. And Pippa, I think everyone else has said their piece apart from you.
We absolutely loved it. Seriously, as soon as it came out the box, I was making soup, and my freezer is now really full of soup. We haven't stopped making soup with it. So yeah, I've come up with some rather interesting recipes, but they all seem to work.
Okay, that's fab. And any problems, and what are your top tips for getting the most out of it? Because I've read about these, and I've always thought, oh, you're not going to fry the onions. Does that make a difference? So what are your experiences? We'll go back to Leslie, shall we?
Yeah, I found that I don't really like making soups with stock cubes, and I kind of struggled with the first couple of pots of soup that I made until I spotted these. I don't know if you can see it. It's like a pouch of concentrated stock. So you can either buy concentrated stock, or I suppose you can make some down from something else that you've made earlier. But I found that the taste for me for soups is much improved because I got more of the sort of homemade kind of soup feeling that I would have had when my grandmother made soup. So for me, that did make a difference.
Brilliant. Has anyone else been using homemade stock, pouch stock cubes in their soup maker?
Yeah, I've been using homemade stock. So I always have stock on the go. We go through about 2 or 3 chickens a week. So as soon as I have the stock made, it's straight into the soup maker with vegetables. It's just fantastic. It's a great way of putting the soup or a meal straight into the freezer. And actually what I've started doing is popping couscous or bulgur wheat into the soup once it's cooked. And then I've got a meal all ready to go straight away. It's really handy.
Absolutely brilliant. Couscous, of course, doesn't need cooking, does it? And you won't get whizzed. Emily, any tips to make your soup bulkier, taste better?
I actually think, well, being vegetarian, for me, you can't really go wrong. So I'm when you do that thing in the fridge and you go, oh no, there's about 4 things that are about to turn, and so our soups are always whatever's at the bottom of the fridge, which is working really well for being frugal because it's using it all up, and you can't really go wrong. But also for using up kind of leftover cooked meat and things, which I wouldn't necessarily know what to do with. Seems to be good for bulking it out, and the kids seem to really like it. And I think if you've got meat and a bit of flavouring in there and some vegetables, you don't necessarily need stock, although I do use the stock cubes mostly.
Okay. And Dan, what have you been using for stock in your soup maker?
I tend to use stock cubes or those little pots of stock if I don't have any homemade stock in. What I found was really a really good thing to do, which people probably really tell me off for, is using those tins of fried onions. It's like if I don't want to actually cook all the ingredients first before I put them into the stock maker, the soup maker, I get a tin of those fried onions and stick those in as well, which was a really good sort of time saver and adds a lot of flavour. And for bulking it out, I've been using those sachets of rice, the microwave ones, just chucking one of those in to give it a bit more substance.
That is a brilliant idea. Emily, I want you to tell us a bit about the smoothies you've been making, please, because that sounds like a great sort of secondary use of it.
Yeah, so I never read the instructions, so I just stuck stuff in and pressed the smoothie button, and that is really all you have to do. So we haven't been doing particularly creative recipes. We've used some tinned fruit and also just turning fruit from the fruit bowl, and it seems to work really well. And the kids have just drunk it, so they drink it like in one go, so it's a really good way for getting fruit into the kids as well.
That's absolutely brilliant. Has anyone else made any smoothies? No.
Well, I normally have.
As well, you can sneak like salad into them. So I've been putting cucumber in, and the kids are kind of, oh, it tastes really fresh, and I'm thinking, wahaha.
That is a really brilliant tip. Who else has tried a smoothie? I think Katrina tried to say something there.
Yeah. Well, most of my fruit is in the freezer at the moment, so just be careful if you're going to make a smoothie to let your fruit defrost before you put it in, because you really can't put ice or frozen fruit into it. So I'm having to plan from the night ahead to take out any frozen fruit and berries to put in to a smoothie the next day. But you know, if I take the fruit out, I'm putting soup in, so it's a fantastic way to make sure that the freezer is full all day long.
Okay. Nova, did you manage to get going straight from the box? And how did you find the instructions?
Really simple, very, very quick. As soon as I got the soup maker, I couldn't wait to start it, and I had it going within 20 minutes, and then 20 minutes later had soup, which is good for me because I hate reading instructions. So yes, no, it couldn't be simpler, really.
Actually, I think lots of the Morphy gadgets are like that. I've got a steamer, and I could use it straight from the box, and I don't think I've ever looked at the instructions. So fabulous. It's very intuitive for making soup straight from the box. Don't need to read. So what is your favourite soup you've made? Leslie, what have you been enjoying with your family?
I think I was laughing. Someone else mentioned they made a sausage soup. I had put on a slow cooker sausage casserole a few days ago, and because I was in a hurry, I put it all in without frying the sausages and the onions first in the slow cooker. So the sausages had all disintegrated into absolutely nothing, and it just looked like mince in the slow cooker. So I took it all out, plopped it into the soup pot, whizzed it up, and they got the soup instead, which was a really good way to use the soup maker. And you didn't have the kids sitting going, oh my gosh, what is it you're serving up to us to eat? Because it tasted really quite nice.
Right, so
I think my favourite...
rescued casserole soup. Nova, what's your family's favourite flavour bean?
Sorry?
What's
Sorry,
your family's favourite soup bean so far?
Butternut squash. Just a slightly spicy butternut squash soup. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh.
I
And,
know that Katrina actually made an amazing butternut squash soup that she served in the butternut squash skin.
Oh, wow.
Which looked very impressive. And very easy, I think, with the soup maker. Pippa, you made the sausage soup as well, didn't you?
Yeah, we made sausage soup, which was quite thick. I've also made curry soup. Our favourite, though, for everyone apart from Big Boy, was tomato soup, which I added cream to. It doesn't say to in the recipe, but once it was in the bowls, just added a swirl of cream. And that was really lush, actually.
Okay, add a bit of cream for extra flavour.
Yeah, I also added milk as well during the cooking, which helped not burn the bottom, I found.
How much noise do these machines make? Because I've got a soy milk machine, and it is very noisy, so I'm wondering how the soup maker compares. So let's try Dan.
It was actually quite loud. I think the first time I put it on, I was upstairs and I could hear this sort of rattling noise coming from downstairs, a bit like a kettle boiling for like 5 or 10 minutes, which did sort of slightly concern me at first. I realised it wasn't going to explode, and then after that it was fine. So yeah, once you've used it once, you know what noise it makes, and it's
once
fine to
you're there,
use.
you don't get too much of a shock.
No.
And what other favourite soups have people been whisking up in it?
My kids' favourite at the moment is broccoli, sweet potato, and courgette.
Oh, Emily, that's just so brilliant that they're eating they're eating broccoli and greens.
They really like it, and it does smell a bit weird, like a bit like kind of Christmas Day, shall we say, when it's cooking, because there's so much broccoli in it, and it comes out a really nice green colour, and the kids all completely empty their bowls. And it's just it's about half broccoli, half sweet potato, and then about half a courgette on the top, and that's it. Oh, and stock.
So all your soup makers have earned their place on your kitchen worktop, and what would you say to people who now say to you, ooh, soup maker, I'm a bit sceptical? I mean, you're obviously all converts, aren't you? So, Katrina?
Definitely, big time. I really wasn't all that sure about it when I got it first. I was kind of like, oh, I don't know whether I'm going to get a huge amount of use out of this. But Mum was over here today and saw me using it, and she was like, I think I might get one for myself. You know, she's been convinced herself by seeing how simple it is. And the big selling point for me is I can stick it on the back of my countertop away from grabby hands, because I have a 2-year-old toddler who just loves to grab absolutely everything and pull everything down and twiddle knobs and stuff. I can leave the main switch off on my hob and my cooker, and I can leave the soup running. I can go out and do the schoolroom, come back, have hot soup. I mean, it's just fantastic. And I really didn't think I was going to get as much use out of it as I have. I couldn't be happier, really couldn't.
I think that's brilliant when something surpasses your expectations. Nova, what's your verdict on the soup maker and your initial impressions?
Definitely recommend it. Before I got the soup maker, I was thinking of, because I do make a lot of soup, and then transferring it from the saucepan to the blender is obviously a messy job. And then, as Dan said, it's quite then trying to clean that another appliance and the saucepan. And so I was thinking of getting a hand blender, but now absolutely no way. I love this, that I can do it all in one. It does it for me. I'm convinced. I absolutely love it.
Okay, Pippa? Are you converted?
Completely, 100%. And I posted a picture on Instagram, and of course all my friends then started asking questions about it. And 5 of my friends have actually since gone out and brought one. And we're all having soup parties. No, seriously, everyone was so amazed at just how simple it was. I'm really bad at making soup traditionally. Everyone doesn't like my soup, but making it this way is just so much easier and tastier.
Okay, Emily, I know you're a convert. Your children are eating always greens and always smoothies. Dan, is your soup maker? Are you a soup maker fan? Convert now?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, one of the things I really enjoyed was just sort of, I made a chicken and tarragon soup, and I just dumped all the leftover chicken from a Sunday roast in there, and a few vegetables and some stock and a bit of white wine and some tarragon, and it was one of the nicest soups I've made for a long time. So it was just being able to kind of scoop everything up and just drop it in the machine, hit go, and then it'd be, the soup came out at the end. It was fantastic.
Fantastic. We've not talked about cleaning it, have we? I know some of the reviews, you've said it's a breeze. Leslie, how have you found cleaning your soup maker?
Oh, fabulous. I'm used to having a pot, my plates, my wooden spoons for stirring, and then you've got all the different parts. You've got the blender for putting it in to blend it smoothly. This was literally just rinse the 2 pieces under the tap, a little bit of bubbles, and then it was just rinse it off and dry and ready for the next time. It was really easy.
Brilliant. Emily?
Yeah, it's really easy to clean. Much easier than stick blender, because stick blenders have that kind of semi-sphere shape that you have to kind of try to get the sponge round without cutting your fingers off. So it doesn't have any of that. You can literally just stick the blade part under the tap. So that's really good. And obviously you can carry the jug to the table when you're serving, pour it into the bowls, and then take it back to the sink and rinse it out. So it's literally the only thing that needs rinsing, and there might be a minimal bit of sticking at the bottom, but it just comes off with a cloth.
And if it's in a jug, then presumably you don't need a ladle. So
no, you don't need anything.
Okay, Pippa, serving your soup. Is it easy to pour? Serve easily?
It's really easy, because it's just like a kettle. It has a handle. You just pour it up. With regards to the cleaning as well, I burnt 2 soups on the bottom. And it says in the instructions just to leave it for like 10 minutes soaking. I didn't even leave it for that because I'm an impatient what's-it. And it was clean within seconds. So yeah, it's seriously, it's one of those gadgets which you'll think originally, you're like, well, I don't really need this. And then as soon as you've got one, you're like, yay!
Any more thoughts from anyone? Dan?
I don't know. I really like using it, and it saves on the washing up, and I hate doing washing up. So anything that cuts down on that has got to be a bonus. I love it. I'm really keen on it, and I've got 1,000,001 kitchen gadgets anyway. And I kind of thought, I think like somebody else said, I don't really need another one. And but I think this one will stay definitely at the front of the cupboard, not get pushed to the back next to the pasta maker.
Actually, I think that's really positive that people who are initially sceptical about it, and you all cook a lot and you all know about food, you've got busy lives, you've got families, that you've all been completely converted to it, and also that you've converted your friends to them and your family to them. How much more soup are you going to be all eating for meals now? So, Nova.
Well, it seems to be on nearly permanently every day, so quite a lot. I like soup for lunch, and the children like it at the weekend, or especially my son who's got celiac disease. It's perfect for him to snack on. So definitely, it's not going to go in a cupboard. It's going to be out all the time.
Okay. Emily?
Well, my daughter doesn't really like greens, so this is a miracle for me. So we'll be making soup all the time. You can also use it to make pasta sauce, for like a thin pasta sauce consistency. So I've been using it for that as well. So yeah, we're using it sort of every couple of days.
Yeah, I was going to ask about pasta sauce, and also what about a pizza sauce? Can you do that in it?
Yeah, pretty much anything that involves kind of boiling vegetables down and whizzing them up, or meat as well, then you can use that, and it's a lot quicker. And as other people have said, once you've started it off, you can just walk away, and it'll beep when it's ready.
Fantastic. Okay, Leslie, is your soup maker now a permanent fixture on your worktop?
My soup maker's now got a little space right behind the bread maker, so you don't see it every time you walk into the kitchen, but it's always there ready just to pull out and use now. And I think the same way as Emily said, the only way I can get one of my children to eat any greens is putting them into a soup. So we have soup here probably 3-4 times a week. So it's great. Yep, love it.
Okay, Pippa?
Yeah, it's permanently on the side. It goes at least twice a day making soups. As I said, I've filled up my freezer. I've had loads of friends around. I've had a few soup parties. I know, it's ridiculous. But the great thing is as well, because you can freeze it, you can, when you pour it into, I use a muffin tin to freeze it into individual portions. So you can put sort of chunky bits in this one and liquid bits in this one. So if I'm feeling a bit more chunky soup one day, I can grab out a chunky soup from the freezer. So it works out really well.
Okay, and Katrina?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be using it again. Certainly with the allotment as well. Come the spring, I'm going to use it to preserve some of the fruits and vegetables into soups and then keep them for the winter. So it'll just keep things ticking over. It's permanently on my countertop, and trust me, I have a tiny galley kitchen. To have something like that on my countertop at all times, it makes a huge, huge difference.
Okay. Now, when I was looking at it, I thought it would be the perfect thing if you're going self-catering or having a holiday to take with you, or if you caravan, or if you're going somewhere. If you can be packing your soup maker for a winter weekend break.
Yeah, because it lets out very little steam, so even if you're in a caravan, it's not going to kind of fill it with steam like you would if you were cooking. And you could even buy the bagged vegetables from the shop and just kind of tip them in a bit of water, and you'd get a soup that way. So yeah. Really easy.
Great. Anyone else want to take their soup maker on holiday with them?
I'd say we would. We have a motorhome, which we take away quite a lot, and I do have a slow cooker, a smaller one that I take with me, but the soup maker will be coming away with me when we go.
That, I think, is a massive endorsement to take your soup maker on your holiday. Has anyone got anything else to add? I think we're all super fans, and you think the soup maker is super. Any outlandish flavoured soups that you want to try?
I just wanted to say what Emily was just saying about using pre-packaged vegetables. You can buy normally like a casserole mix in the local shop. Our local shop was always having them reduced, and so I brought all the packs of them reduced and made a ton of soup. It was like for pennies, so it's even cheaper doing it that way.
Which is really important because everyone's budgets are more and more stretched. So it's cheap soup, cheap food, buying reduced food. I suppose you all need bigger freezers now to keep all your soup that you've made in.
I think that tip of freezing them in a muffin tray is really good. I'm going to steal that immediately.
I do that all the time with it's also for soup and anything that blends, and then bag them up. Any more tips or ideas or flavours from anyone?
I made a nice mushroom soup actually, using chopped mushrooms with some stock and added a bit of cream. It looked a bit of a dodgy colour, but it was a really nice mushroom soup.
Well, I think I'm probably going to have to go make some soup now. Although I don't have one of these soup makers, so I'm going to be doing it the difficult way. But thank you very, very much, everyone, for joining the Hangout and testing the soup maker and blogging about it. And I'm looking forward to lots more soup recipes on your blogs and on the internet. So thank you very much. And thank you very much, Morphy Richards, for sending these soup makers to everyone. They were a great, huge hit, and we're converted and very impressed. Thank you very much.